Did you know that the most reliable predictor of chronic unhappiness isn't a lack of success, but the habit of constant comparison? We are the only species on Earth that derives its sense of worth not from its own being, but from measuring itself against another. And it is killing the beauty we were meant to become. I learned this the hard way. I built a life that looked like a perfect replica of achievement, a careful collage of other people's milestones. I had the right job title, the right curated corner of the world, the right silent struggles masked by the right loud victories, and every night I would lie awake, feeling like a ghost in my own life, because none of it was mine. It was all borrowed. I was an echo, not a voice. I was so busy looking at the gardens of others that I let my own soil turn to dust. The exhaustion wasn't from the work. It was from the endless soul-crushing of competing in a race I never even chose to run. I remember the breaking point. A quiet Tuesday of no significance. I was scrolling, absorbing a highlight reel of a peer's life, and a physical wave of emptiness hit me so hard I had to put the phone down. It was the realization that I could spend my entire life tending to a reflection, polishing a mirage, and never once touch the substance of who I actually was. That night, I didn't have a grand epiphany. I simply gave up. Not on life, but on the competition. I surrendered the need to be taller, brighter, more abundant than the flower next to me. And in that surrender, something in the foundation of my identity, a foundation I thought was solid stone, just crumbled. It was a silent collapse. No fanfare, no drama. Just the sound of an old weight turning to ash. This is where the real work begins, in the ashes. Not building a new you that's too forceful, too much like the old competitive energy. It's about allowing a new form to emerge. Think of a seed. It doesn't strive. It doesn't look at the seed beside it and panic. It simply endures the dark, the pressure, the long silent wait where nothing seems to be happening. It gathers its own truth, cell by cell, in the patient dark. And then, when its own internal logic is complete, it blooms. Not to show the dirt it was in, not to beat the stem beside it. It blooms, because that is its singular, irreplaceable expression of existence. Your life, your true life, is that bloom. Not the trophy, not the title, not the applause. The bloom is the quiet integrity of your own rhythm, your own pace, your own peculiar and glorious shape reaching for its own sun. My one change wasn't a new habit or a drastic action. It was a shift in perception so fundamental, it altered gravity. I stopped asking, "Am I winning?" and began to whisper, "Am I becoming?" I turned my gaze from the horizon of everyone else's making and looked down at my own roots. What nourished them? What was my native soil? The compulsion to check, to compare, to measure. It didn't vanish overnight, but it had lost its power. Because you cannot compete when you are in conversation. I began a conversation with my own potential. It was clumsy. It was slow. Some days the only bloom I could manage was getting out of bed and being kind to myself. That counts. That is a radiant and defiant bloom in a world that demands spectacle. This is your permission slip, not from me, but from the innate intelligence of your own being. You are not here to win a scarcity of light. You are here to contribute a uniqueness of color. The flower next to you is not your rival. It is your context, your proof that diversity is the language of beauty. Your only task, your most profound and quiet revolution, is to become an expert in your own nature. Tend your soil. Protect your roots. Honor your seasons of growth and your seasons of necessary rest. The world will shout its timelines, its benchmarks, its frenetic standards. Your job is to listen so deeply to your own rhythm that the shouting becomes background noise. This is the irreversible awakening. Realizing that the most transformative force on earth is not relentless hustle, but authentic becoming. You already have everything you need within you to bloom. So let this be the gentle end of the competition. Let this be the beginning of the conversation. Just bloom.